And in 5, 4.
3, 2.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the tasting table. My name is Chandler,
I'm James.
and today we got a really fun treat that we're tasting in honor of the spooky Halloween season. It's a Northeast favorite. Favorite? Northeast
I don't know.
original.
I don't know about that.
It's from Philadelphia, born and raised, and it is called Bloody Butcher Bourbon.
Bloody Butcher Bourbon by some people somewhere. So I don't know nothing about this. I went to Philly to have a day, to go to Reading Market, Reading Terminal, walk around, just have a good day. And at my little liquor store that they have in there that I've been to a few times, they had this, the Bloody Butcher, which is a regular, normal bourbon. It's aged 12 months, right?
Yep.
And
It says 12 months.
the guy told me, he was like, this is like a good thing. It's interesting. It's made from like some kind of red corn, and it's always in stock. Look at this guy. Look at this guy.
So where does it get this very ominous, very kind of concerning name?
The Bloody Butcher.
The Bloody Butcher.
Well, it's an urban legend that the guy, John H. Butcher, right? He had too much of his signature whiskey and murdered his family in cold blood.
Hence the name.
Or something to do with a local corn varietal.
Oh. Go on. Tell us more about this local corn varietal.
Well, the name of the corn is, I don't know, because I don't have it in front of me.
It's called Bloody Butcher.
It's called Bloody Butcher. And
Bloody
it's a
Butcher corn.
corn, and it's sweet. It's local to PA. And this bourbon is 70% Bloody Butcher corn,
It's an heirloom corn.
which means that it's small, it's like small and like DNA's like crossbred and shit, and it's
Yeah,
fancy.
it's the corgi of corns. Corgi.
You have to put it down
Yeah.
after 2 months because
Because it can't breathe.
because it can't breathe.
And it has hip dysplasia.
That sounds hot.
Uh,
Is there anything? So wait, what you have a webpage in front of you? Tell us about this this corn.
So this is actually courtesy of Jephthah Creed Spirits. Why is it called Bloody Butcher? It's not as dismal as it sounds. During the corn's milk stage, when we would pick up cobs to eat with dinner, Bloody Butcher is a white corn. Then a tiny red dot appears on every kernel of the corn, and 15 days later the cob is shot through with burnt orange and reds in a splotchy pattern said to resemble that of a butcher's bloody apron.
Oh,
So by the time the corn reaches maturity, it has a deep purplish, rustic, almost maroon kind of bright red color to it. And that's where it comes from. It just kind of looks very deep red. Like it kind of looks a bit blood soaked.
you got Google, so you can read. You can. But like I also have Google, and it says that it's an heirloom variety of corn introduced to American settlers in the 1840s by Native Americans.
Well, that would make sense on account of it's not like any of the American settlers
This is not
had any corn. Like
Yeah.
they didn't have any corn before that.
It's true. It's actually very interesting because I realize the use of heirloom like corn and grain and shit like that is like very popular in like distilling and whiskey and cocktail making. This is not the first time we've had something like this.
This is not. In fact, we tried something kind of similar that did feature Bloody Butcher corn way back when we were trying Baby Jane, courtesy of Widow Jane Distilleries here in New York. This was a select heirloom bourbon that they made not only with the heirloom Bloody Butcher corn, but also with another heirloom heritage variety from Wapsie. Oh no, that's the name of the corn is Wapsie.
Oh,
Whoopsie. Anyway,
I'm looking at. I'm sorry. I'm looking over your shoulders, looking at the beautiful picture of the red corn.
yeah, that's the Bloody Butcher one right there.
Oh, that is?
Yeah.
Wait, it was inside of that. It was inside of that one as well?
It was it was a half and half.
With that and the blue corn.
No, not
Right.
blue corn. Wapsi corn.
Wapsi corn. Oh, so the baby Jane, the heirloom bourbon was a mixture of both
Bloody Butcher.
the blood. So we've
Of
actually
two
had
different heritage.
something with this before, and I liked it a lot. I did think at like, what was it, like almost like at retails for like $75 for 200 mil or something like that. Oh no, was it the
that one was a little bit cheaper for the pint size,
oh yes, yeah.
but it was still like very difficult to get our hands on. I really enjoyed that one. It had a nice sweetness, nice buttery sweetness. What we can expect from this Bloody Butcher corn is definitely going to be on the sweeter side, contrary to the blue corn that we tried with Baby Blue with balcones.
Whichever one you think is right.
Balconies. That one had a very rustic flavor. I thought a little gravelly, but still sweet and buttery. Just way more like butter corn forward. So yeah, I guess also one thing we need to add before we dive into the original Bloody Butcher bourbon right now is that the mash bill right here I'm looking at.
I'm just into watching what's happening with you here. You're like into it.
It's 70% of the heritage Bloody Butcher corn. So we should expect it to be pretty sweet, pretty creamy, pretty corny. But
oh, here comes the twist.
It's got 26% malted rye.
Ah, so we're gonna get something a little rye burn,
A little spice.
a little bit of complexity coming from the rye there. What's the last one there?
And then just to finish that out, because 70 and 26 do not equal 100, the other 4% is malted barley.
Oh, okay.
A little bit of just cereal filler.
Okay. That's just there to, fill it out.
And then, so we'll try this. We'll try this one first.
Tried it.
Do you already take your sip?
Yes.
So I'm going to try this one while you discuss what your thoughts, feelings, and opinions are on this very special bourbon that we have in front of us.
So I'm going to ask you a question first.
I'm supposed to be sipping. How
Wait
are you going
to?
You're going to ask me a question. My mouth is going to be full.
I'm curious as to like traditionally, how aged do you normally see like bourbons around $40?
Well, in order to be a too legit to quit bourbon, it needs at least 2 years in charred white American oak barrels. Anything less than that is a baby whiskey or a baby bourbon. And so this isn't a baby. This is a full-grown adult.
What does it say here? How old is it? It says it was aged 12 months.
Is it just 12 months? Hold on. Let's see.
Hold on. Yeah, it says it was aged 12 months in new charred American oak barrels.
Yeah, settlers unsuitable for
Look at this.
scale farming.
He's reading the things. We're listen. This is a teaching moment.
Yeah, I don't know. That doesn't make any fucking sense. How? Trying to see if maybe there's anything on the label that designates. Maybe it's like, oh wait,
that's interesting. It is 2 years.
It says 2 years. This says age 12 months. Maybe this is an additional aging. Let's see. Let me read the fine print.
Oh, no, listen, people. This is how you do it. You find the information, then you do research. So Chandler, what does it say on the label? Well, I do research. Read it out loud or something. I don't know.
The label says, in the early 1800s, European settlers in the southern United States blended their corn with native variety. What do you mean blended their corn? It's the Europeans didn't have like their own corn. It was all like it came from the America. I guess they did have like 200 years since like I guess the commodification of the transatlantic slave trade.
I have no idea why that's 12 months. And I'm sure that somebody who's better and more educated and has really fancy cameras and stuff, I'm pretty sure that they know. But we don't know. We just know that it says bourbon. And the law says that it has to be bourbon to say that. So.
Them's the rules. Sorry, guys. Yeah, guess we gotta.
It's bourbon.
Guess we gotta confiscate
Whatever you
all of
say.
this alcohol.
It's bourbon. Now, while he takes a sip, I'm going to tell you what I think about it.
Tell us your thoughts, feelings, opinions.
I think that it is okay. I'm sorry, PA. I don't think it's particularly anything funky or interesting. I don't think it's any sweeter. I mean, it's sweeter than like a Maker's Mark, obviously. But it's not even as sweet as like, obviously, this is like natural. And it's like no fillers, they say. But this is not super sweet. I'm not getting a ton of char. I'm getting corn, rye, and like ethanol.
It is a little sharp. It is a little sharp. I will say I do kind of like the the Bloody Butcher kind of has a lot more of like a roasted malty flavor, and I don't know if it's the corn or the malted grains that are in here, but it definitely has that kind of cookie crumb kind of texture to it, where it going down, it feels like you had like maybe a little too dry of a Chips Ahoy, but it's still like it's enough to keep you salivating. That's where the rye comes in. That's where that malted rye, it kind of activates those salivary glands right in the back of your cheeks. That's how I was able to pick up, the first time we tried it, that it was a rye. It was like,
well, you definitely picked up on really, really quickly. I don't know. I think
like you feel it, you feel it back in like where your molars and your tongue kind of meet. That's where rye lives.
That's where rye lives.
It's right.
It's very interesting, yeah, because it kind of lays on like the tip of your tongue. There's a little bit going on the sides. Not a lot going on the back. It's very creamy up front. A little heavy on the alcohol. It's okay.
Bourbon lives a little bit closer to the center of the tongue, I think. A little center of the tongue, and then Scotch lives in the back of the throat, like deep in the back of the throat.
I love it deep in the back of the throat.
That's where Scotch lives.
And
you should try to visit them sometime.
The reason, of course, that we got this is because when I went to Philly and the guy told me to try this other little tiny guy here.
What?
I had to get the big guy because this little
baby butcher
100 ml bottle is the, how old is it again? It's the 3 year, right? It's 3 years.
So that's an actual bourbon,
right? And it's 3 years, right? Yeah, it's 3 years. Yeah, the little label's not here anymore. 3 years. 3 years.
3 años.
Sour mash. They do like some, what is it, Norwegian type of, they took like some sourdough starter from a local bakery in Philly, and they use that in some of the old mash to make like a sour mash, and then they put it into the new one, and you get this. And then they aged it for 3 years. $24.99 plus tax for something supposedly very interesting. Do we see sour mash bourbons?
We have seen a couple sour mash whiskeys. I can't say. I think Michter's is probably the only sour mash that does sour mash bourbon, or even sour mash whiskey. I mean, of course, we also got the Jack Daniels. Is the Jack Daniels, George Dickel, both have sour mash versions. What is it? Not barrel. Not
I drink that whiskey straight. It agrees with me.
Now,
it agrees with me.
You like the barrel? Like,
I'm talking about this.
Oh, this one.
It agrees with me. Like taking it as a shot, I don't know, in an old fashioned with some cola.
I could see it with some cola. In an old fashioned, I don't know if it has enough body to kind of. I don't know if it has enough like panache, to really to really carry an old fashioned. You'd have to bring in some simple syrup to do the a little extra heavy lifting.
You need the simple syrup. I think this is fine. But I really don't care about this. I'm not excited about this. You didn't finish yours, Chandler.
I'm getting there.
Now. So, this is what they call this. They call this guy the Bloody Butcher Sour Mash. Like we just said, they get the corn sourced from Castle Valley Mill in Doylestown, PA. PA has such stupid sounding places. I just wanted to piss you guys off. The secret ingredient, sourdough starter from Philadelphia's High Street Cafe. I don't know about that. Why do we not
I guess it's not a secret ingredient anymore.
More sour mash bourbons?
Because it's fucking tough to make. Well, think about it. Because, like, in theory, if they weren't using a heirloom corn, they could really just source their whiskey from, like, the MJW. What is it?
That big company that does all the
that where most bourbon whiskey in the world comes from, like that one place in Indiana that's kind of on the border with Kentucky, right? They could just source that, age it a little bit extra, do some like cut it with whiskey that they made with the Bloody Butcher corn, and be like, oh, it's a mix. But with the sour mash, they have to make everything from scratch. It is all aside from the actual sourdough starter kit, everything else, they're in the process soup to nuts. Because, like, not only... So, I'm guessing the way they make it is they make our Big Butcher first, right? They make their mash, and then they distill it, and then they have all the leftover solids and detritus and sediments in the still after they get this juice out of it. Well, then they take some of that, mix it with the sourdough starter, and then throw even more shit on top of it. That's the fresh stuff to help them do a whole new batch. So each batch relies on having made a previous batch. That's a lot of fucking work. And then you gotta age it. And then to go age it for another 3 years?
So that's where age statements and bottles are kind of funky and weird, because there's all kinds of rules and regulations, but also some apparently seem to be loose, because this is 3 years. Does that 3 years include just like the entire time of making this thing and it being, or is this a mixture of the bourbon?
No.
And then they cut it maybe with another one that has, I don't know nothing.
No, that can't. Okay.
I've had a few. I just realized you can't do that, okay?
You can't do that.
You cannot do that.
If you are in the spirits industry and you are trying to do that, can't do it.
Game over. It's like that guy
Don't
from what's the bar show?
The
Jack Tunney, Jack
the bar show, the Save This Bar.
No, it's like Worst Bars or something. The guy.
Oh. Worst Bars in America?
Yeah, Worst Bars in America. That guy. Jake Tapper.
Yeah.
Right? Is that his name?
Sure.
Isn't Jake Tapper the guy from MSNBC? Okay, anyway.
You can't do that.
Yo, what's that? You're mixing bottles?
Whoa. What's that? You're taking one kind of gin and putting it in another gin bottle?
I do think that, like, watching us, if you're listening, I'm sorry, watch us. It's on YouTube. The link is in the bio. It's so funny because we start after having had a few drinks, and then by the time we pull up to the tasting table, the table's all rocked and sideways. We're on our third.
It's a little loosey-goosey.
We're at a third and a fourth drink.
Because you gotta make sure to
quality check.
Quality check.
It's quality check. It's quality checking.
Before we try.
I tried
it. You did this to me twice. You're making me look like a goddamn fool out there.
I'm sorry, Papa. I'm sorry.
You're killing your mother. I just thought the tasting notes that the website has for Bloody Butcher is kind of interesting, because I only get like a third of what they're of what they're talking about.
All right, hit me with each one.
All right, so there you go. The blend of corn, barley, and rye
I cannot taste any corn nor barley. Maybe a little rye.
gives the bourbon a balanced flavor with notes of milk chocolate.
There were no notes. I didn't see any notes. They weren't in the box. They were not in the bag.
You didn't see the notes?
No.
There was at least 3 G sharps and an A.
I'm sorry, milk chocolate?
Butter.
Mm.
That's there.
Yeah, it's butter. Butter.
Leather.
Mm.
Love me a good leather daddy whiskey.
Me too. Yum, 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 yum. Dead cow.
Stone fruit on the palate.
Stone fruit.
Hey.
Like, multitasking.
Stoned and fruits?
It's like, eat the fruit, throw the stone.
Mm. You know, some say that stone fruits are the original Kinder egg.
Oh, wow.
Because when you crack it open, there's a little surprise inside.
This in there for you to slay a pig?
Mm-hmm. Just I missed that one. That one.
Pig.
A pig?
Oink oinkers. Don't do that. Don't kill pigs.
Wait, what do stone fruits have to do with killing pigs?
Stoning cops.
Oh.
You shouldn't stone people.
You shouldn't stone
But if you were
people.
gonna.
If one were to use stones as a form of execution.
Okay, stone fruit, what else? Hold on. Yeah.
Stone fruit on the palate.
Palate. Wow.
And a dry spice on the finish.
Dry spice on the finish.
A dry spice.
I love when you read these and you hear these because you're like, dry spice on the finish. What does that mean?
That means whatever you want it to mean. Toots. This is show business.
When you drink the whiskey and you feel that weird thing on your tongue, like if you just like ate a spoonful of oregano, where it's like it's the lingering. The spice is the lingering after the little burn of the little heat, like the
like if you accidentally like you're having a sausage or something. And you get a fennel seed, and you just kind of crack into that fennel seed.
Oh yeah,
that's kind of what I associate with a dry spice.
Oh, now this guy here, the tasting notes for the sour mash are very similar.
Wait.
What?
And don't tell me first. I want to try it.
All right, try it.
What?
I'm running out of time. I'm rushing. You see this? I interrupted a lot, and I took it off track.
Okay.
All right,
You go.
tasting notes.
Say your tasting notes.
It pulls aromas
Whoa.
that are reminiscent of leather, tobacco pouches, pound cake, and dried leaves. Low key, pound cake on the nose. Give it a whiff.
Okay.
Sweet, buttery,
Yeah.
cakey.
Wow. That is
Sweet, buttery, cakey. Pound cake is like the perfect description.
pretty spot on to pound cake. Wow. Yeah, that's very sweet. I had an immediate like association, like I felt the synapses just flare up.
It's true.
And it brought me right back to like having a warm donut walking through the lumber section of a Home Depot. You feel me on that?
Wow. And then the taste, the mouthfeel.
Yeah.
It's rich, creamy. It's like the body of milk, which is one of the tasting notes actually.
Mm-hmm.
I think one of the things that you don't get with the Bloody Butcher here is something about this. There's a lot of character that's not being brought forward, which is why I think this would be good in a cocktail to bring it forward. This guy, the little tiny sour mash.
The sour mash actually has some depth of body. Like it's sweet, but it's not like a cloying sweet. It's like a rich, decadent kind of sweet.
That is absolutely fucking good.
It's like a fudge icing kind of sweetness.
And because it's the Bloody Butcher bourbon, that means it's really easy to assume that it's still the same 70% the malted rye and the barley are probably all the same percentages.
That would be correct.
So,
Well, actually, I don't know. Okay, just posing the hypothetical. And before I pose the hypothetical, I do not know what a statistics are, and how to multiply percentages. But if you have a mixture that's 70% corn, 26% rye,
oh my god,
the rest, and then you scoop out
oh my god,
a fraction of that.
Oh, here we go.
And
I
add
guess
it
it's like
to another. Is it still the same? Are these all? Is it all the same? A presumptuous.
it depends on how much. Because if you can sour the whole thing by making like a mash starter, because we don't know this, but if you can make like a mash starter, that's the sourdough plus the old stuff into like a mash starter, right?
Right.
The whole point of that is that it sours everything. So
one bad sour apples the mash.
So it's unlikely that you need a third of the vat to be that. You would
sour the whole thing?
Yeah, you wouldn't need that. You would need something nominal. So if you have a 60-gallon vat and a quarter of a liter is like the weight or volume of this sour mash, it's like 2 zeros. You know what I mean? It's like 0.002%.
So it cancels out.
It's like nominal.
Cross cancellation.
This, of course, is not the same. Being aged longer.
That's where I think
the age statement.
That actual depth is coming from that extra 2 years of barrel chilling. Because that's the real depth that you're getting. That's where like the bridge between notes of like the initial kind of creamy, sweeter, like a sweet cream, like a dulce de leche kind of sweet cream.
No, it's sweet,
on
it's
the
creamy.
front. And then when we had the regular butcher, it was just kind of like there was that, and then there was a lull, and then the rye spice kind of kicked in with a malty finish. This one, it has that sweet, creamy decadence at the beginning. And then a little bit of that kind of oak body to kind of keep that through line going. And then you get to that little bit of rye, that rye sour mash kind of vibe where it's like it's a rye, but it's a tangy rye.
And of course, the nose is brilliant.
Honestly,
I think the nose is
one
brilliant.
would even say bloody brilliant.
Their description of the pound cake
That
is absolutely on, just like on cue.
Whoa, dude, that is out of bounds.
So I got places to go, but what I want to do is I want to make a habit where we're tasting. We got to finish what we're tasting.
All right, well, let's get to tasting.
So I want you to follow the social medias and stuff.
You can find me at what is it? Chandler Does Jokes on Instagram.
It'll be here. Watch. Bam, it's there.
Whoa.
It's in front of your face.
Crazy. How'd you do that?
Or it's not.
Oh my goodness. It's like, is this what Picard felt like living with Q? Or you'd just be like, oh, don't worry. It'll just pop up over your face. I don't know. I don't watch Star Trek.
What? What the fuck? My brain is broken.
Boom. Got him.
Okay. First of all, Q, being one of Q from the Q continuum, I guess their gender would be Q, something Q self. I don't know.
They would be cutie pies.
Because they're just Q. They're just Q. They're all Q.
They're cuties.
Goodbye. Y'all get out of here.
Y'all come back now, you hear?
We're not gonna take it.
No, we ain't gonna take it
anymore.
Thank you for joining us at the tasting table. Be sure.
You see it. You know what to do.
Yeah.
You hear it.
Come back. Goodbye. I love you.
This is where we get drunk.
Get drunk.